Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember. Now know you know the snow will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember without a hurt. The heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the fire of September that made us mellow. Sweet to remember, and if you remember, then follow, 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 follow.
Well, again, good morning, everybody. So yes, Memorial Day weekend. And now this celebration of this weekend really started honoring veterans after World War II. But I, like Pam, expand that definition. Last week, Perry Spring was here, and we did a thing at the closing circle where he said, close your eyes and remember somebody that departed. So I ask you to do that again. Just close your eyes. And first, if you have a veteran in your life or know of a veteran that gave the ultimate sacrifice, bring them to mind. And then bring to mind perhaps a first responder that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And then somebody who is in service to you that is no longer with us. We stand on the shoulders of all of those who have come before us. This is a time to remember, a time to allow that spirit of their service to be a guiding light. Perry said this. He said, at the end, he had a chant called Peace, Shalom, Shalom. And I don't remember the melody of that, but peace with you, peace and health with you. Peace means things that are perfect. So peace, shalom, shalom to all those. And so it is. So what I was thinking about today and the whole concept around all of the shoulders that we got to stand on through all of the millenniums. I found this little ditty and I just thought I'd share it with you. We seek to be animated by divine spirit, the spirit that animates all of life. This spirit fills us with aliveness, inspiration, and intuition. And it opens us to new truths. This is the spirit that, to do that, excuse me, we have to let go of our personal agendas and allow the transformative power of spirit to settle in. We talk about that a lot here, about we are both mind, body, and spirit, and we need to make room for spirit all the time. And then the mind and the body can respond. And in that response, we manifest love, justice, and mercy. The spirit that challenges us to realize that our highest potential is through compassion action. Compassionate action. In these turbulent times, particularly, we cannot cling to the dogma that we may have run ourselves by. We need to open up to the spirit and the transformational power of the wind and the fire of spirit in order to love one another, to be compassionate for those that have less, or those that may be on the other side of an issue or the other side of a firing line. And with that, we get to find peace. And when we find the peace, we get to express it. And this passage ended with a wonderful affirmation, so I'll just read it. May the divine spirit which guides us fill us with life and inspiration so that we may align with the transformational power and contribute to the world of justice, mercy, and love through compassionate action. Here we go again. Compassionate actions. Really just showing up and really experiencing the Christ nature within ourselves and allow that to be the Christ nature that everybody sees. I'm going to read the daily word for tomorrow, which is the celebration of Memorial Day. And it really nails what I think I just was trying to say. Memorial is the word for Monday. I pray and bless my loved ones and the world. Today, I honor the legacy, courage, and memory of those who have given their lives in service. I prayerfully express my gratitude and heartfelt appreciation for their selfless dedication. I also remember my loved ones who have transitioned and embrace them in the radiant light of love. I remember how they enriched my life, and I feel grateful as I remember the ways that they blessed me with their presence. In memory of all of those I honor today, I commit to being the presence of peace in all situations. I hold a vision of world peace with the understanding that we are all part of the human family and all one with God. I forgive easily, seek harmony by extending loving kindness and compassion to all. And from John 15, no one has a greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. I pray and bless my loved ones and the world. And so it is. Amen.
Beautiful passage. Thank you. The greatest gift is to lay down one's life for one's friends. We tend to think of that as laying down the physical body, but it's also about remembering to use your time, your energy, your prayers, your presence to make the world a better place for yourself, for those near and dear to you, and for everyone who shares the world with us. So it's a wonderful time to remember that as we settle in to prayer and meditation together. In this sanctuary that we have co-created, let each settle into the sanctuary of their heart, that place of peace and divine communion that ever abides within us, ever ready to be filled with the presence of the divine and then to move through us to bless the world. We settle in now, each one in the midst of kindred souls, as we sing Sanctuary, linking inner and outer sanctuaries with the oneness in which they have been created. The Lord prepare
Me,
to
be
be
a
a sanctuary,
sanctuary,
open,
open hearted,
tried and true.
with thanksgiving.
I
Am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
And so settle in now at depth into this sanctuary of peace and presence, a place of soul communion with your higher self, with the divine, and with all of the energies and experience and people who have blessed you on the path. Be in gratitude for all that has gone before and brought you to this holy moment. Be in gratitude for all that is yet to come, the unfoldings, surprises, adventures, and miracles yet to be made manifest that lie before you. But most of all, be in gratitude for this moment. Of all of the places on earth you could have been, your soul has brought you into this circle of kindred souls and into this time of prayer and meditation together. I believe, like Wordsworth, that we came from spirit trailing clouds of glory to be present here in this world for and with one another. We are part of a continuum of life, the beating heart of creation, ever moving toward deeper understanding and greater peace. Through each of us, the presence of the divine can be made manifest in our world right here and right now. So allow Spirit to meet you as you are and where you are on this journey of soul. Let Spirit bless you at a level of body and physicality, at a level of spirit and soul that is eternal, that has come into this physical form to grow, to learn, to share, to gift the world, and to be gifted by the world and others in it. Feel yourself as a light of the divine, exactly as you are, and with your life exactly as it is. Feel that light bringing comfort and strength, wisdom, insight, and vision to you in this moment. Bring into this sacred space the process of your soul unfolding and open to receive all of the gifts found in the moment for to bless you on the path of life. Feel yourself at a level of soul shining forth, but also dropping into your embodiment, letting your physical vehicle truly become a sacred space where your feet walk upon the earth to be present, where your hands reach out to touch and to compassionately care for your vision to see highest and best in all. Feel all of these weaving into the very essence of all that you are, and realize that you truly stand upon the shoulders of those who have gone before and prepared the way for you to be here now. And feel yourself as the shoulders upon which others stand and will stand in the days and years ahead. May we each be a link in the evolving presence of the divine, of peace, of the Christ light in our world. One of the blessings you can do is to share your gift of prayer and consciousness. So in this moment now, bring all of the prayers that are yours this day, near and dear, and then fill them with love from your heart. And release these prayers into the loving arms of Spirit and the divine presence, silently or aloud, however you are so guided. Pour forth these prayers and know that we uplift them with you, and we open to see their unfoldings in amazing ways in the coming hours and days. Let us pray. We unite these prayers with those of the High Watch prayer chaplains and the prayers that they have been entrusted with, spoken, written, or sent soul to soul. Allow your heart to be overflowing with gratitude for this time of spiritual awakening and rededication. And receive now a Chinook blessing as you prepare to re-enter your life. We call upon those who have lived on this earth, our ancestors and our friends, who dream the best for future generations, and upon whose lives our lives are built. And with thanksgiving, we call upon them to teach us and to show us the way. And lastly, we call upon that which we hold most sacred, the presence and power of Great Spirit, of truth and love, which flows through the universe, to be with us, to teach us, and to show us the way. The Hopi saying is, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And so as a rededication to realizing the power and gift of your presence in the world, take yourself exactly as you are, your life exactly as it is, and open to be this prayer of the chalice. Divine presence, I raise my whole being, a vessel emptied of self. Accept, Lord, this my emptiness and fill me with yourself, your light, your love, your life, that these your precious gifts may radiate through me and overflow the chalice of my heart into the hearts with all whom I come in contact with this day, revealing unto them the beauty of your joy and wholeness and the serenity of your peace, which nothing can destroy. Go forth blessed and blessing as we link inner and outer sanctuaries once again. I invite you to sing this through the first time with your eyes closed in your inner sanctuary, and then with the second singing, open your eyes and behold that you truly are a living sanctuary, a chalice of divine presence.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open heart, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am hungry, sanctuary. Oh,
Namaste. I behold the divine in each and every one of you. And now, special music. Yes. What kind of car is it? Is it a big one, a little one? What color is it?
color.
Aha, I think we have a taker. See, no, this is being in service to one another. By the time we do service and eat salmon, someone would have needed a ride home. And now special music. And this is a song I've loved for many, many years. You'll recognize it immediately.
Memory, light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolored memory of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind. Smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had a chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memory may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. Oh, it's the life we will remember. Whenever we remember way we were, way we were.
Oh, thank you. Remember the way we were. One of the things that dawned on me on this trip was how in the world did I ever get to be in my 70s? I don't feel that old. I still feel so young inside. And yet at the same time, I have this incredibly rich history and connections and memories to remember, all of which brought me to who I am in this moment. People who touch my life that may or may not be aware of what a difference they made. Sometimes it can be someone who was a mentor and you remember instantly, ah. And sometimes it can be a small kindness. Someone said something or did something that may have been a stranger that helped you in a particular moment. Maybe a friend that called right when you needed that call. And all of those remembrances are part of who we are now. The way we were is part of who we are now and who we are yet to be based on the choices we make each day with our lives. We're celebrating those who've lived life of service in many ways. The military is the traditional one, but as David and I both expanded out to be about lives of service. And I remember when I first studied about the first Memorial Day, May 30th, 1868, it had to do with Arlington Cemetery and the fact that they laid to rest there both Confederate and Union soldiers. And they said this needs to be a place of remembrance, of honor, of rededication, and of reconciliation. Oh, I think about where we are right now in our world and in our country, and it feels like a battle. But I've realized that as long as I see it as a battle, it is a battle. If I can work at depth to reconcile and to truly do the path of the Christ, which is to love everyone, not just friends and people who agree with me, but everyone. He says, embrace your adversary quickly. Do I have to? Embrace your adversary quickly. Embrace. Offer them love. Have I figured out how to do that 100% of the time watching the television? No. But I know that's my assignment right now, is to not listen to so much of the noise and the friction and the different sides and how angry and entrenched everybody is. And instead, to think about what this day is really about. It's remembering, but it's also saying, what do I do with this? The way we were, how does that inform who we are and who we can yet be? Remembrance, honoring, rededication, and reconciliation. I love that last one. And I realize that our mantra that we say every Sunday holds the energy of that sacred vision of what this country and our world can be. Authentic, remember to be true to yourself. Be authentic. Transformative, be willing to grow your soul. Honor the fact that you are here to be gifted and to gift, to learn, to grow, to be challenged, and honor your soul and the souls of everyone else. Spiritual, empower your soul. Look at life from that higher spiritual perspective whenever you can. That is rededicating yourself to the path of love and light, the path of the Christ. And finally, community. Unite your soul with others and with life. Reconcile, heal. Living together in life, in families and in communities and in spiritual families and churches and businesses, there's always times where our sharp edges rub up against each other. But it's what do we do about that? Can we soften our vision where we see with that spiritual eye that lets us see ourselves and others from a more spiritual perspective rather than just outer appearances? And we end it with centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. That is the calling, true calling of Memorial Day. Our prayer of protection that we say every Sunday was actually written by James Dillett Freeman, the poet laureate of Unity, for World War II soldiers. Silent Unity was contacted and they said, all of these people are going overseas. We want them to have something to hold on to. And he wrote the prayer of protection. And it was sent out all over the world, and many, many people carried that as they went into World War II. And then Buzz Aldrin went to the moon November 1969, and he carried and placed on the moon the Unity Prayer of Protection. So that prayer that we say every week in circle here, seeking to embody that, is actually on that big circle in the sky that you see at night. Look up at the moon and realize Unity's vision for a world of compassion and true communion with others in a way that reflects unconditional love. Co-creating a world that works for all is shining down upon us all the time. As I was working on this service, one of the things that came to me was it's about remembrance and the importance of remembrance. And to remember is to remember, to live again, to take A remembrance is to re-embody the energy and the blessings that came from that person, that memory, that experience, that sacred token you hold near and dear that reminds you of a trip or the presence of the divine or someone you love. It's about reuniting with, because when you remember someone, don't you feel them again? As you were singing The Way We Were, it was like in the movie, it went back through all the connections between Barbara Streisand and Robert Redford. But what it did for me as you all were singing that, I was remembering my brother and my friend and my mother and dad and my sister and all the different people that I've known in my life. And as I thought of each one, they came alive for a moment for me once again. When we remember someone, we continue to hold their light in the world and to carry their gifts, because we're meant to be part of that flow that of the generations where we take the gifts that we have received and we integrate them, and then we add our gifts and then pass it on to the next generation. That's the only way we evolve, is by doing it together and consciously growing toward a presence of the divine. Remember is to re-enliven that person or that experience anew. One of the places that I was blessed to go on the trip was Valencia. And I'd been told to watch on Netflix. There's a series about sacred objects and things that are venerated. And one of them included the Grail. And the Valencia Cathedral was one that was on the show. And so when I discovered we were going to Valencia, Sarah and I said, oh, we got to get to the Grail Chapel. We've got to go to the cathedral. And there is a Grail there. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it in a minute. But what came is that in the most significant ritual that the master way shower Jesus left us with is that of communion. And as the communion elements are lifted up and blessed and then offered, what words are said? Do this in remembrance of me. I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps. That's how deep remembrance is and how important it is. Because we go through life and it's so easy to forget, or to be in a place where you can't quite touch that hem of the garment as easily as you would like. But all you have to do is remember. Jesus, the master teacher, realized how important that process was. He didn't just say, take the wine and take the bread. He said, do this in remembrance. Not only remembrance of him, but of his teachings and his life that says that every one of us is a grail, is a chalice, is a place of communion between the divine and our souls, and between our souls and one another and the world. In communion, the bread is the physical body, and the blood that's poured forth from the chalice is the living soul, essence, life force that we are. And so he used elements that were present on everyone's table. It wasn't exclusive. And for the first time, I really got at depth, do this in remembrance of who and what we truly are. Eternal spiritual beings having an earthly experience for a divine reason. One of our unity mantras. Jack Angelo, in the book Love Has 7 Colors, is one of the 2 books that we're studying now. And he talks about this is an inner circle teaching, which is that of heart-centeredness. When we remember through our minds, but where does it settle in? Right here. I can remember my mom, but my mom. It's when it drops into our hearts that we truly feel it. And he says the ancient teachings stress that the human mind cannot find the way forward out of our human dilemmas. We can't just do it with this. Retraining the mind so it can facilitate love-based rather than fear-based responses. The solution is to become heart-centered and guided by wisdom of the soul. The soul assures us that the meaning of life is guided by the wisdom of life itself. Life is in the living. You serve your soul by surrendering to life. By trying to control what you think is life, you're missing what life actually is. It is easy to make your body a tomb for the soul and your mind a prison for the sacred. Remember, the whole message of Jesus, it's always bothered me when the cross is there and he's still on the cross. I just want to go up and say, you're missing the whole message. He transcends that. He experienced that so that we can, when we are in agony or distress, it helps remind us that we are not alone. That presence of the divine is ever with us, ever and always with us. So remembrance is about freeing yourself from fears, from doubts. When I first graduated from ministerial school, I had a ministry and I called it Sacred Moments. And I did teaching and workshops and weddings and memorials and swore I was never going to do church, which is really comical. I know Spirit was laughing the whole time at me, but I would occasionally mistype it. And instead of sacred, I typed in scared. All you have to do is flip 2 letters and sacred goes to scared. Isn't that wonderful? All you have to do is flip 2 letters and you're not scared anymore. You feel the divine presence, and that's what we're called to do. This is the Valencia Holy Grail chalice. And as I finish my talk, I'm going to pass these cards around for you to hold for a moment and just feel its energy and receive a blessing from it. These cards I actually prayed with in the chapel, right in front of this grail. And this one, of all of the different ones, do I believe that this is the one and only Holy Grail? No, because I think something so powerful and archetypal is going to take many different forms. But this one holds incredible energy. I went in there, and this is one that they can trace back historically all the way back to Jerusalem and the Templars and all of that. And 2 popes have actually gone and visited this chapel and prayed with this chalice. So it has amazing energy. Sarah and I walked in and we sat down and it was just like, all the places I have ever been, that is one of the most deeply spiritual moments of my life. Just profound, this deep sense of peace and remembrance. That from the beginning of my life, I've always been fascinated with the Grail and the Grail legends. And most of all, what it represents. And so I prayed with this grail. I took some pictures. I'll do a slideshow of 2 of the churches sometime soon, once I get them downloaded and all of the stuff you need to do. But I took pictures, and so did Sarah. And then we prayed some more. And then we stepped out, and there was a little place where you could light candles. So all of you were prayed in the Grail Chapel, and I lit a candle for all of you there. And then Sarah and I took our phones out, and our phones were so hot we couldn't hardly hold them. Never had that happen before, ever. I mean, it was like hot. And I flipped through, and there are all the images of the chapel and the phone. I'm like, oh, what do we do? We almost set them down. And we put them in our pockets, and then we lit our candles, and then we pulled them back out, and they were back to being normal temperature. It captured that energy a little bit in that of this amazing place. And while I was there, I prayed, and I realized I wanted to journal, and I had no paper, but I had bought note cards. For those of you who know me, I love to scribble, and I can actually turn scribbles like this into an entire retreat, right, Diane and Sky? Oh, and so this was what I had to write on. And I received a message. And then as I came home and I was praying about this service, I realized it wasn't the message that I received was not just for me. It's a message for each and every one of you. So would you like to hear what the chalice message for you is? For this you have been sent, to behold the Grail everywhere present, to be the Grail carrying blessings everywhere, to know the full embodiment of the Christ light in Jesus, Magdalene, and all. Be still and know you are blessed and blessing. You feel the energy? Are you warm? So that was what I came back with, was this, and it was looking at the image of this grail that reminded me of the words that are said when communion is done. Do this in remembrance of me. Angela Aries has said in Living in Gratitude that worldwide, all cultures honor its ancestors through some ritual at each time of the year. For us, it's Memorial Day. She quoted Miguel de Unamuno, who comes from the Basque area of Spain. And he says, all my ancestors live undiminished in me and will continue to so live united with me in my descendants. Each of us is a tradition bearer, a peace bearer, and a grail for the living presence of the divine, right where and as we are. There's an ancient European ancestral chant that says this: oh, may this be the one who will bring forward the good, the true, and the beautiful in our family lineage. Oh, may this be the one who will break the harmful family patterns or harmful national patterns. May this be the one who brings forward peace. All of us, that grail, that agate cup that's been set in gold with pearls and emeralds, but the simple cup itself holds the energy of people who have prayed and had faith and been in remembrance of the man, the way shower Jesus, of Magdalene, his companion, and of all of the people who have held the faith for centuries. We are each called to do that as well. Truly, we are the ones we've been waiting for. A Course in Love reminds us, and I'd like to close with this. It reminds us to be in remembrance not only of those who have blessed us, but also of those we have blessed. Those we are blessed by now and blessing with our presence now, and those we are yet to bless and be blessed by. Part of this flow of life and energy. A Course in Love says being who you are is what you are called to do. Isn't that wonderful? Don't try and be somebody else. Somebody else has already got that one taken. You'll be repetitively redundant. Each one of us is unique in the soul that came, in the life experiences we've had, and the relationships we've had that have brought us to now. Being who you are is what you are called to do. You are asked to live a life as seamless as the birds of the air. Forget not who you truly are, but forget not also to be in joy in your experience here. Remember that the seriousness with which you once looked at life is of the ego. Drape your persona in a mantle of peace and joy. Let who you are shine through the personal self who continues to walk in this world a while longer. Remember, honor your soul path, rededicate yourself to the calling that is uniquely yours, and reconcile yourself, being at peace. Peace, deep peace within yourself, present in the world. So take a moment and close your eyes, and I'm going to read the prayer of the chalice one more time. Divine presence, I raise my whole being, a vessel emptied of self. Accept, Lord, this my emptiness, and so fill me with yourself, your light, your love, your life, that these your precious gifts may radiate through me and overflow the chalice of my heart into the hearts with all of whom I come in contact this day, revealing unto them the beauty of your joy and wholeness and the serenity of your peace, which nothing can destroy. Why are you here on earth at this time exactly as you are? What do you care about? What do you serve? Who do you remember that has blessed you on the path? And how do you want to be remembered when you return to spirit, leaving a legacy to bless the world? Open in willingness this week to remember why you've been sent, to honor what you truly care about, to rededicate yourself to service, and to reconcile yourself in peace and joy with life exactly as it is. For the legacy of the Grail, for the teachings and the living example of the Master Jesus and all of the other spiritual teachers, we are deeply and profoundly grateful. as we honor and celebrate this day of remembrance, this day of memorial. May we remember the power of remembrance, and may our lives be done in the remembrance of who we truly are. And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. Valencia is alive and well here in Port Townsend and in each and every one of you. And I invite you to claim that and to embody that as we do our song of inspiration. And Clara could not have picked a more perfect one: love, serve, and remember. I invite you to stand and do this in remembrance of the presence of the divine.
Why have you come to why have you taken why have you come to so remember so remember
Well, yeah. Love, serve, and remember. So I remember why I'm standing up here. It's to be in service for you folks, because I love you so much. And we get to share that love as we do here each week in the form of monetary remembrances. How's that, huh? So this is the time of the service where we receive the offering. So I invite you to take it out in your hands and your heart and just hold it. And it's really a statement about you. And it's all about serve, love, and remember. So here we go. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give and all that I receive. And I am grateful.
And for a little change in
A little
energy.
change up, right? Don't look at your song sheet if you will be confused. I have to laugh. So Clara said before services, I'm going to change up this offering song. I'm going to do something different. America the Beautiful, I think is what you told me. And so that's how I teed it up. Don't look at the words. Well, I'm glad you did. Thank you. Oh, sweet, sweet Spirit, Mother, Father, God, thank you for these gifts. Thank you for the lesson and remembrance of our function here. That each of us is just to remember where we came from, who we are, and then to share that with the rest of the world. And if we did that, every one of us, not only in this room, but in our community, the greater community, our country, the world, what a different place this would be. What a place where everyone can thrive and be and share and do in a commonality of sisterhood, brotherhood from a single creator. So we take these gifts, we send them forward. That is distinct intention. That by doing what we have in our heart and sharing that, we can create, as Jesus said, heaven on earth. It's right here, right now. We just have to recognize it. And let us do that in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen. I guess we are. You know, you just never know what it's like. Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates. You should be up here with me sometime. It's you never what you're going to get.
I thought you said, do look at your words.
Oh, well, there you go. See, at least one of us got it right. Let's see. A couple of announcements. The opera sheet, we're having a potluck following service. And if you said, oh my gosh, it's a potluck, I forgot. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is Unity. We do potlucks really good. And I happen to know that there's at least 3 desserts, and there may be more out there. 10. They are listening. Love it. Jim is out cooking salmon. So here's how the drill is going to work before we get out of here. Jim's out there cooking salmon. Once that's done, then we will serve in the hearth room. There's tables set up and all that. So we're going to be inside. So don't worry about your raincoats and all those kinds of things. But we ought to wait for the salmon to get through. So there'll be some kind of a, hey, let's go. And we'll form a line and gather in the hearth room. So that's how it'll go. And there's baked potatoes with all sorts of goodies. There's salads, lots of desserts. And perfect. Let's see. And we've got Kaya holding the high watch today. And her job is to hold the spiritual space for this service, and then the spiritual space for each one of us, and to be available for personal prayer following service, should you so choose. Maybe something came up during our closed eyes things, is, I'd like to talk about that or pray about it. Kyle will be back in the back, we're waiting for that to happen. In the event that you don't feel comfortable with doing that, there's a prayer box back in the sanctuary, or prayers will be handled by the church for a week, and then we send them on to Silent Unity for 30 days additional prayer. I was in Unity Village, as many of you know, last month, I guess it was. And I had talked to a lady named Denise, and Denise is in charge of all the activities that occur on campus. So all the events, all the retreats, all those kinds of things. So I was having lunch with her, and I said, I got a group of people in Port Townsend that just love to show up here. How do I make that happen? And she said, well, let me get back to you, because they got lots of dates. I mean, the campus is very busy. And he said, well, just give us a time that is off season, and we'll see what we can work out. So I got an email back from her reminding me, I owe her some money. So that's probably why I got the email. But more importantly, she said, why don't we're going to reach out to folks for the World Day of Prayer, which is, I think, the 11th and 12th of September. And I said, I haven't booked anybody yet. Would you want to try to put something together? And I said, yes. So put that in your consciousness. I need to figure out how many people we're talking about, because we have facilities on site. I just got to nail one down. I don't know if it's going to be in the motel or hotel, because if it's big enough, or in one of the B&Bs. There's 3 or 4 B&Bs on site. So we'll figure out how we make the accommodations work and all that kind of stuff. What it would include is we get a chance to go to Silent Unity Prayer Chapel. It's been in existence for 100 and some odd years. And so we get to sit and hold the spiritual energy of all the prayers from all over the world that sit in the walls of this thing. So we'll do that. We'll get a chance to do that. We have now on campus the largest labyrinth in the United States, outdoor labyrinth in the United States. And that's now on campus, and it's the one that's designed after the Chartres Cathedral, all done in brick and colored brick, matter of fact. Just gorgeous. That little thing out there, the jigsaw puzzle without one piece is I'm going to take a picture and explain that. There's a lesson there, I'm sure. Anyway, so we'll have a guided walk on that meditation on that. Then we have the World Day of Prayer and whatever activities occur on campus for that. And so we'll put together 3 or 4 days, or probably 3 days worth of activities, and a day on either end to travel. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point in time. If you're interested, next week we'll get something out in the newsletter, and then also so everybody can get an idea of what's going on. We have meditations and all sorts of things occurring here in the sanctuary, and we're out in the hearth room throughout the week, yoga, etc. It's all on the website, unitypt.org. So I'll invite you to go there. How you doing back there, Jim? So Jim back here, raise your hand, Jim. If anybody doesn't know Jim, that's him. He's cooking the salmon. He also went and got the salmon. So, and he's going to give us a heads up when the salmon's ready, then we'll go ahead and have our meal. Okay, so let's join a circle in here around the sanctuary. The face of love, Bianca. Bring it.
Okay.
You know, we don't often have your birthday occur on a Sunday. So that means it's probably auspicious that you're here, right? It's auspicious that she's here so we can all sing to her.
You are the
Face of God.
you
Hold me in your arms.
You are you are
The face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart.
you are
The part of
you are
the face of God. This is going to be fun. Go ahead. Hey! Woo! Happy birthday.
oh,
Oh. Now that's a birthday cake. There you. Yeah.
and yes, with me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Well, go forth blessed and blessing. Woo!
Oh, let's, what happened? So let's bless the food before we all the band and have
Yes, good
chaos, right? Ah, sweet, sweet spirit, thank you for the blessing of this food we're about to take. Blessings for those who brought it, those who prepared it, those who grew it, supported it, all the hands that made it possible. Let it enliven our bodies and enliven our spirits. So for all the blessings, we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
So it is. And the
All right,
bowl is
we gotta go
still
set up the
singing.
hearth room.